Listen to me. If there was a wise man who would ever think of this, they would say in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. For I am the man himself.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm already in the mood tonight because I wasted an hour or two tonight. No, more so like 2.5 hours tonight trying to get an old video game to work that I've struck out every time I've tried to get it to work. And now I'm coming up here and reviewing an episode of SmackDown that quite frankly I thought was a waste of time. I'm not going to lie, I did not really enjoy this week's episode of SmackDown. Were there a couple things that I enjoyed? Yes, but I felt like I just enjoyed it for what it was. I don't know, like, the shows that I was gone for felt like they were starting to pick up the pace. Now it's just like, after I got back, it's like it was back to coasting. I don't know. This show felt like absolute filler. I mean, we got, the number one contender for the women's tag team championships. We got a couple more matches made official that aren't really going to steal the show on the card. I got nothing really for the show. I kind of thought it was boring. I fell asleep twice last night during the show. The second time, I just gave up and went to bed. And I rewatched the part that I missed this morning. Some good action, yes, but it just felt like filler. And I think it's also hampering by the continued concept that SmackDown does not work as a 3-hour show. It's not working. It's dragging the down. Like, literally, this show had a gauntlet match. And yet, it still felt like it was years after that gauntlet match until the show ended. Just saying. But, we're going to talk about it. I'm going to just breeze through it very quickly here. I don't have too much to really say. I want to save most of my stuff for the WrestleMania preview, which has the build been lackluster? A little, yes. Not horrible, but not on a WrestleMania level. But I still think the WrestleMania 41 card, which WrestleMania is next weekend, I do think it will deliver and still be a good show. I'm worried, though, it's going to be a very heel-dominated show, though. Not too many, like, happy endings and whatnot. Like, a few happy moments, but I feel like there's going to be a lot of heelish moments in this coming WrestleMania. Let's just go through the show quickly and talk about it. The show opened up with Randy Orton being addressed by Nick Aldis for RKOing him last week, which Randy Orton brought up the fact that he did once pay Aldis extra money, saying, no, the extra's for next time, and next time did happen. And Randy is just desperately wanting a match at WrestleMania since Kevin Owens isn't going to be at the show. Keep this in mind, next week's SmackDown is basically like a prequel to WrestleMania. They had Randy Orton team up with LA Knight to take on Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga in the main event, just for Jacob Fatu to get in and get a one-up on LA Knight before WrestleMania. So, why was Randy in the match? Does Randy definitely not have a match at WrestleMania? Because if you're going to set up a match at WrestleMania, you were going to do it on this show. unless he shows up at Mania, it's just an open challenge. Then we get Aleister Black coming out, which I still want that to be his new opponent. But of course, the thing though is if Aleister debuted, I want him to win. Randy Orton is supposed to be, rumors have it, fighting John Cena, which he should be fighting for the world title at Backlash because it's in his hometown of St. Louis. So now I don't even know Randy Orton's even going to be on the show, if I'm being 100% honest. So that felt like a waste of time. Like, there's literally no direction for Randy Orton whatsoever. So that first off pissed me off. We then have the Gauntlet match. Bayley and Lyra Valkyria went wire to wire. They defeated the teams of B-Fab and Mi Chin, Katana Chance and Kaden Carter, Natalya and Maxine Dupree, who basically were probably getting some of the most hype from this because they were teasing the fact they're talking about being a tag team, and then they immediately lose quickly. Like, is this kind of like what they were trying to do with Natalya and Tegan Nox before? Maybe, I don't know. The Pure Fusion Collective, that's still a thing. Well, they were the first ones in the match that eliminated. And then the Secret Hervis of Alba Fire and Piper Niven, who wrestle in their security outfits, by the way. I think that's kind of awkward, if I'm being real. But Bayley and Lyra went wire to wire. It's just basically just to throw Lyra, Valkyria, and Bayley on the WrestleMania card, if I'm being honest. I don't know if they will win. I really doubt they will. But, yeah, just a random thrown on match. Yet you've had that's the thing too. They're having the world tag titles and the women's tag titles at WrestleMania. The WWE tag titles that I feel like have had more story to them than any other titles, well, especially the world titles, and they're not going to be on the main show because Street Profits are going to defend the tag titles against the Motor City Machine Guns next Friday on SmackDown before WrestleMania. Odd, don't you think? Whatever. But Bayley and Lyra is going to be on the card. And then we're supposed to have a face-to-face confrontation with Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre, but Drew beat down Damian and basically revealed that his eye is 100% clear, rips off the eye patch. They brawl again. Drew does this future shock DDT into Damian onto the stairs. Both men sold it awesome. Their match is now being called a Sin City Street Fight, which should be good. Again, I still feel like it's kind of a wee bit thrown together a match, but I think it will be good seeing how personal they made this feud between the two of them. Fine by me. DIY were complaining about, their loss last week and not getting a tag shot. Rey Fenix had a great match with Humberto Carrillo. He does get the victory, and afterwards Santos Escobar tries to basically make a peace offering with Rey Fenix, and he wasn't having it. And then later on, Andrade was trying to, recruit members from Legado del Fantasma. I don't know what's going on with that. Oh yeah, Roxanne showed up and had a random match with Tiffany Stratton and lost. We'll talk, and then afterwards, Tiffany Stratton got beaten down by Charlotte Flair. After Charlotte was told to go home for the week after her and Tiffy got into a fight in the parking lot. We'll talk more about some backstage heat that these two women have for the preview and predictions. Oh yeah, and then Chelsea Green had a match with Zelina Vega. Chelsea was trying to get the Secret Hervis, who were beat up from their Gauntlet match, even though they were only in there for a few minutes, to come out to the ringside, and I think they botched the ending. Because Chelsea then lost to Zelina by countout. Match barely went on anything. And I don't get why Zelina's still trying to get a title shot when she lost already to members of the Secret Hervis. Makes no sense to me. Already talked about that. We did have a good promo package, I guess, with Naomi and Jade for their match. Cody Rhodes also had a nice promo, basically addressing the World Championships, as the tables had all the world titles from the past and present out on them and whatnot to title up his match. Nothing really special there. Tiffany beat Roxanne. And then I already talked about the main event. That's really it. You guys can tell how much I really cared about this show. I didn't. I gave it a C because at least some of the action was good. Like, I did like the Cody promo with all the titles around. I did think, Tiffany and Roxanne had a great match. God, I have just reviewed the show and I barely remember what happened. Like I said, I just did not care. So, we'll see what happens for WrestleMania. Again, we will do the preview predictions sometime this week. Hopefully before the middle of the week we'll have that done, but we'll see. That's it, guys. I'll check out and get out of here. C for SmackDown this week. What are your guys' thoughts on SmackDown? Do you think it was a boring show? Your honest opinion about the WrestleMania 41 build? Leave your guys' thoughts down in the comments section below. Slap a like on the video and subscribe for more content on my channel. Follow me on Twitter as well at the Club of the Man 93. You may also follow me on TikTok and on Instagram at the Club of the Man 1993. Until then, guys, I'll check it out. I'll catch y'all later. Have a great rest of your night. And do not forget, in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. And for I am the man himself. And that is not just an opinion, my friends. That is a fact of life. Yeah!